Welcome to XconMedia. We got a juicy topic for you today. But first, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please. We are trying to get that channel up. We are currently at 19K, 19,704 to be exact. So I appreciate all my subscribers for hitting that subscribe button. Go ahead and like, share it out for me today. Today, we are talking about Hanceville, Alabama Police Department caught up in a big corruption sting. Before we get into it, it needs to be highlighted that these police departments around the country, not only the police departments, but the prosecuting attorneys, a lot of these lawyers, these police, listen, man, they are very corrupt. Okay. In Alabama, I know for a fact has a very bad prison overcrowding population problem. There are a lot of those brothers and sisters that are in Alabama. True enough, the ones that deserve to be in there, they're in there. The ones that do not, it's a lot of, I've heard a lot of stories. And Alabama is right next to me, the great state of Georgia. Obviously we have some of the same problems here, but Alabama is on a different scale. A couple of months ago, I seen a story where they had some type of speed trap situation going on in Alabama where they was really hitting people. So we are going to talk about Cullman County. And the reason why I know a little bit about Cullman County is because I had a job. I was working for a company called Action Resources, pulling hazardous materials. So I spent like 2 or 3 days in this city called, I think it's Hanceville, Alabama, in Cullman County, right off of I-65 in Alabama. It's about 45 miles north of Birmingham on Interstate 65. So I spent a couple of days in that town. They got a tremendously couple of big truck stops in that town, like a really big petrol. I spent the night there a couple of times in my trucking career. So I know a little bit about that town. But when I saw this story, I'm like, you know what? It's time to highlight some of these corrupted police officers, because we talk about so much on YouTube and things of that nature, but we don't highlight the things that really need to be highlighted. So if you appreciate me for doing that, please like, comment, and subscribe and get the conversation going about these corrupt police officers that I think I could honestly say I think a lot of this stuff is going to be brought to the light with these 4 years of the Donald Trump era. All right, let's get down to the story.
To a developing story in Cullman County, the Hanceville Police Department is now being called a criminal enterprise after the chief of police and 4 officers were hauled off in handcuffs, arrested on drug-related charges and tampering with evidence. WAFF 48's Noah Cowell has more on why those officers are considered a threat to public safety.
This investigation started when Chris Willingham was found dead from an overdose while he was on the job at the 911 center in August. We now know that he died with a cocktail of drugs in his system, including fentanyl. As of today, we learned that some of those drugs came right from the Hanceville Police Evidence Room, which has now sparked a massive drug and corruption investigation.
There is a rampant culture of corruption in the Hanceville Police Department, which has recently operated as more of a criminal enterprise than a law enforcement agency.
The Hanceville police chief, 4 of his officers, and an officer's wife are all facing a variety of crimes from felonies to misdemeanors. Eric Kelso is accused of giving Adderall, hydrocodone, and anabolic steroids to 2 fellow officers, Cody Kelso and Jason Wilbanks. Eric and his wife Donna are both charged with drug distribution and conspiracy. Police Chief Jason Marlin is accused of knowing about at least some of these issues and failing to report them.
These officers find themselves on the opposite end of the laws they were sworn to uphold.
In today's news conference, District Attorney Champ Crocker highlighted the lack of security in the evidence room, releasing photos of a massive hole carved out to the room where people had unauthorized access to evidence like drugs. A picture even shows a man using a broomstick to jimmy the door to get inside.
This evidence room was routinely accessed by individuals who were not authorized to do so, going in and out using this stick through the hole in the wall.
Evidence for several cases is now legally tainted and can't be used in trials. The Cullman County Grand Jury recommended the city shut down its police department entirely. If that happens, the Cullman County Sheriff Matt Gentry says his department is ready to step in to help.
We would take over all responsibilities from patrol in that area, investigation in that area, dispatch, and or the jail. Of course, you know, we have the jail here where we run over 400 inmates a day.
The 6 who were charged are currently out on bond. Now, the district attorney said that he won't go into any specifics on what caused Willingham's death, but they do attribute much of it to the lack of security in that evidence room, which Willingham did have access to on the day that he died. Reporting in Cullman County, Noah Cowell, 48 News on your side.
It is going down in the Ville. Man, listen, man, all that evidence, just think about all of the people that are locked up as a result of crooked officers. Like they do it like it's like they don't care about the consequences. They don't face getting their own sentences out of this. These officers might, you know, we might see some justice with these officers because somebody died, but 9 times out of 10, they get away with it. And that's how they run, you know, these prosecutors. That's always, they be having evidence that somebody is innocent, and they still hide the evidence. You know, corrupt police officers planning evidence. Man, this is a serious deal and a serious issue in many communities, not just Alabama, a whole bunch of communities across the United States. This thing need to be addressed. That's why I am highlighting it on my channel that is continuing to grow, because things like this need to be talked about, because this is going on in a lot of cities and small towns around the country. It's just not Alabama. I've heard a lot of stories about Alabama because it sits next to us. But this is something that need to be dealt with and done. What are the answers? Do the federal government need to step in? The revamped, the about to be revamped federal government, do they need to step in and see what's going on? Because of this good old boy system, especially here in the South, it needs to be broken up. What are your thoughts on this, man? Y'all go ahead on and like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you for tuning in. Hanceville, Alabama, corruption on a large scale. And the only reason why they got caught is somebody was deceased. So when somebody is deceased, the letter boys got to step in and investigate why. Otherwise, this would have been kept on going for whoever knows how long. Numerous people would have been getting 10, 15, 20 years. Now, with the evidence, all of these arrests pretty much that comes out of that jurisdiction, everything is tainted, and 9 times out of 10, those accused of crimes in that city will probably, those cases probably will get dismissed because the evidence is tainted because of corrupt officers. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in.